Hi, welcome to today's training on how to generate mind blowing headlines without paying an expensive copywriter. My name is Nika Roach, and I'll be your host today. In today's training, you're going to learn um, why headlines matter, what's the purpose of headlines, where to use headlines, where to get headline ideas, what are some good headlines, and of course, so much more. Now, why do headlines matter? Let's think about this. What grabs your focus when you read a newspaper? What grabs your focus or your attention when you scan your email message? What grabs your attention or your focus when you sort your mail? Oddly enough, it's large, tight, bold, and things that are action oriented. Actually, and other things. When it comes from someone you know, it's usually a good headline when you think about it. If it does not grab your attention, you will not read it. Of course, you'll not read the rest. Now, what grabs your focus when you read a sales letter? And you'll learn what a sales letter is shortly. This is a sales letter. This is one of our coaches by a guy who's dynamic and everything, but also he's a very masterful copywriter. And so when you look at this, just this right here, this is a sales letter. The one thing to get your attention is the tight bold at the top is different colors, so consider different color variations. There's gray under that, but it's bold, and this is what is desired. So it's get. You'll learn why there are specific words in there a little later in the training. But this is a masterful sales letter, and it really brings people to a decision towards the end once you understand why headlines matter and how to bring people to make a decision, starting with the headline. Now, here's a reality check. Great headlines with average copy will insanely outpull, outsell, and outperform average headline with great copy. I'm going to say that again. Great headlines with average copy will insanely outpull, outsell, and outperform average headlines with great copy. What that basically means is you can have okay things behind it, but if you have a powerful headline, you can pretty much grab people's attention. And it tends to be better than having a sucky headline and have great copy. So it's the reverse. So your focus should be on the headlines. Now, spend more time, as I just said, on your headlines than you would do. Don't think of your headline as just something you need to come up with, and it's something you're going to have to massage a little bit more. And I'm going to help you today to be able to use those and massage those away. So the takeaway, of course, is great headlines get you to the winner's circle more often with targeted visitors. You get two times the readers, and you of course make more sales. And the number one test for any copy is the headlines. So you start first with the headlines and then work on the rest. Because if your headlines bring people in, you'll make money or you'll get them to a decision if money is not your objective. Now, the number one best headline creates a specific action. What it does is it creates an intense curiosity in the reader. I'm going to say that again. And I say these things when I say them twice, understand that I'm saying that for a reason. Intense curiosity in a reader. Do not answer all the questions. Intense curiosity. Now, you and I know this phrase. Curiosity is designed to get people to stop and read, get people to stop. Curiosity. What is it? What is it? What is it? What is different than before? Nobody buys because of headline. Now keep that in mind. So if you have a great headline, it's really not going to get people to buy. That's what the other copy is designed to do. But it gets them to stop. And if you use the AIDA rule, which is attention, interest, desire, and action, think about your headlines wherever they are. This is your headline. Anytime you build a headline, you want attention, you want interest in the target market or the target group. You want desire, and you want people to take action. Now, if I was to stop right here where I am now, you can go out and create an intensely phenomenal, beautiful headlines, and this will be worth your time. But I'm gonna give you a little bit more to help you with this, so that you can go out and make the best headline that is going to outperform. Because I suspect that you're on this call or you're on this training because you are looking for people to buy your product, to come into the Platinum Factory system, to be able to be coached in the Platinum Factory system, to be able to use the system to be able to sell product or service or just get people to talk with you, communicate if you're doing emails. Okay, so continuing, the number one best headline, and I continue, is it creates a curiosity. But as I said earlier, curiosity may have killed the cat, but curiosity will make you rich. Curiosity killed the cat, but curiosity will make you rich. You get people curious enough and you deliver, you got to sell. I love this picture. Every time I see it, it's like you have an intent. What is that? What is that? The cat. If you look at cats, notice cats are insanely curious. They're insanely. Babies are insanely curious. Think about that. If you can keep somebody's interest or grab their attention, watch cats. I would say study even cats. Just for this instance, watch cats how they look around and they're scanning for things that are different. They're looking for pattern interrupt. That's what cats, and they have an amazingly keen eyesight to be able to spot things. So when they're scanning the horizon, they're looking around. When they see something move that does not perform the way other things do, it gets their attention. And that's exactly what you're trying to do with your potential prospect. So, where do you use headlines? This is important too. This is a no brainer. Use them in sales letter. I already said that. Use them on Facebook ads. Use them on print ads. You the way you may not have figured it out yet is some stealth locations, some places that are you kind of don't even think about, but when you start applying this in different places, you realize that it's all over the place. But here's some places to kind of get your mind start thinking about that. You're looking at your blog post. Make sure you have headlines. Make sure graphical ads. So anything that has a picture in it, you got to have a headline in there. If you're doing a sales video, the first slide, like I did today, the first slide, if you go back and you check this recording, you realize that first slide was designed to get you to stay here longer to be able to listen to the rest of it. Whatever word comes out of your mouth the first time should be a headline. Webinar registration page. You've gone to webinar registration page, not this one, but to other ones, and you've been able to see headlines. Headlines get you to get curious to say, what's it about? Article titles. You've seen those before in some of the national media. If those things grab your attention, newspapers, of course, email teasers. So emails are very important because if you send a sucky headline through an email, it will get dumped. But if it's enough to grab people's attention, you got them, and they will stay longer, and it won't end up in the junk box. Okay. Where do you use it? Headlines again? It's press release. Whenever you do a press release sounds kind of boring, but I've converted sales from press releases, by the way. Just FYI. So a press release can get people to stop. Other places, if you're speaking from the stage, if you ever get to the level where you're ready to start speaking from the stage in front of, say, two people, or you're speaking in front of 2,000 people, or even 20,000 people, when you start into your pitch, the pitch really means is when you want people to take an action. They're sitting in their chair, but when you move into the pitch, when you want them to take an action, which is go to the back table, you start with headlines. How would you like to be able to boom? How would you like to solve this problem? Boom. It starts to get people to pay attention, and it's a pattern interrupt from what you were saying before. That's crazy, but it works. Chapter titles. I and many other people have written books, and I'm not the best writer, I'll be honest, but I learned some of the lessons that a title is phenomenal, and then chapter titles, because if you scan your books, and when you do your books, when you go to the bookstore, if you go to any bookstore, there's a couple places that you look. It's the front cover, and there's some other places in there. One of the other places to look for chapters, look for headlines, it's actually chapters, not just chapter one, chapter two. It says what each chapter is about because you are building in that person, that reader, that potential reader, an intense curiosity to move to the go to the front of the building where the cashier is, or if you're on Amazon or someplace like that, or any book site, it gets you to click to cart. Okay. Now, stealth closes, and you'll learn what a stealth close is a little later. I'll tell you real quick. A stealth close really means is it's headlines built into conversations that you don't know that they're literally getting you to make a decision, but they didn't really come straight out and say go here. It's called stealth close because you don't know that you're getting the person or the idea or the copy is getting you to move to some actions, and that's why it's called stealth because it kind of sneaks up on you. Letter PSs, I'll go there. If you read a letter, especially a form letters or any kind of letter, you'll realize the PSs are some of the most powerful. People actually buy because of PS. Because if you know, and I know, if you get a letter, especially some of the long letters on the internet, that you'll read the title, scan a few things, and then you'll look down and find a PS. And sometimes PS. It's kind of like when people read book chapters or something like that. Some people go all the way to the last part of it or the last page just to figure out what it is. And so a PS is kind of like that. It's kind of like making a sale before the person actually learns that they need to buy whatever you have. Okay, subheadlines. Subheadlines are really headlines that you were working on, but they didn't make it to the headline. They became subheadlines. So think about it. If you were creating a headline, I'm gonna show you how to be able to create some headlines, and they did not make it to become the number one headline. Well, you use the other ones that didn't qualify as subheadlines for what you're going to share with your audience. A book cover, book chapter, I already talked about that. Webinar pitches, I already talked about that as well. And so, where to get some headline ideas? We're going to move real fast. Magazines, newspapers, newsletters, direct mail. When you're brainstorming, some of the ideas, that got your attention, make cutouts. They become bullets for your headline. So just kind of start scanning the horizon, where to be able to get them. So when you're in your doctor's office, or maybe you're sitting at the grocery store, wherever you are, start to look for places to get headlines. I'm going to tell you some other very easy places to find them and how to get some of the great ideas kind of right in your neighborhood. Um, and this is where I was going to go with that is the National Enquirer. The National Enquirer has been around for many, many years, and a lot of what they what they sell, it can be on the side of, I don't know, I don't know. Michael Jackson was seen with an alien. Just I'm just kind of throwing that up. I can't come up with a name right quick. Or I don't know. Brad Pitt was seen is now turning into a lizard or something. Whatever it is, the National Enquirer is a beautiful place to kind of study headlines because that paper is designed to be curious enough. Most people know it's not really that true, but it still creates an intense curiosity to get you to turn. So the next time you're at your grocery store and you see a National Enquirer, don't buy it unless you really, really want to. Actually, you may want to buy it and just start looking at the headlines and just start scanning the headlines, and you realize, and there are other sisters like the Globe, and there's some other names just like that, but you know where they are. They sit usually right there near your cash register when you're checking out your grocery store. But it's a great place to find some amazing headlines. Now, what you're going to be doing, the reason why you're looking at all these different places, because you're creating your swipe library. Swipe. You're not stealing. I don't encourage people to steal. That's dishonorable. I encourage you to model. It's kind of like you learned how to walk. You did not steal how to learn how to walk. You watched your parents or your teachers or your babysitter, whoever you learned how to do it. You're modeling them. Okay, you're not copying them, you're modeling them because only you are one of you. So what you do is you take what they've created and you model that. So you create a swipe library. Now, you can start a virtual one wherever you scan the internet or you come across great copy like I do all the time. You see something cool, you get an email from somebody who's marketing to you. Wow, that's great. It got my attention. You swipe it, you put it in a virtual box on on your computer. A wonderful place to do that is actually Dropbox. I like Dropbox. The reason why I like Dropbox over just storing on your computer is because Dropbox give you like a whole bunch of storage capacity because you're going to be storing images and all kind of stuff. And if you start storing too many things on your hard drive, you might start, kind of getting a little slow. So go to a Dropbox. It's a free service. It'll integrate with your computer, and you just use that one to be able to start creating your virtual library. And then you can drop images, you can drop text, you can drop entire books in that sucker, um, and you still have capacity. That you, of course, if you got like a library that's really really big, and you come up on your storage capacity, then you got to start paying for it. So just some ideas, but it's a really good place to use it. Like I said, physical books that you come in contact with, that you see around the community, or if you're at your library or wherever you are, maybe a friend just let you borrow something. So you're copying it, don't cut it out. Just take a picture, take your phone out and take a picture. And like I said, send those that information, that data to your virtual Dropbox. Or you can create a physical Dropbox or physical swipe library, which is basically just a place. It could be a milk crate, it could be a box, it could be, a file cabinet, wherever it is. It's something to store these ideas because you're going to go back into that library when you're starting to work on your copy and working on your you're working on your headline. So One of the things that I want to make sure that I keep clear, unless you're one particular personality who really likes organization, generally speaking, your brain does not work in a linear manner. And I prove a point. You can chew gum, you can drive, you can talk on the phone, and you can think about what your wife or your spouse said to you last week at the same time. That means that your brain is working in random order to figure out things simultaneous. So, kind of like when your brain thinks about ideas, it's not thinking linear. It's not thinking from A to B. It's thinking A to C, Z to K, and all these craziness. So when you create your, don't worry about, it's an organization because you kind of waste time in it. You really want it random, so you pull something out and say, wow, okay, and it grabs your attention. And it doesn't matter. You don't even have to be in the same genre. You can be selling caskets and still get a great idea for selling your coastal product. To be honest, I mean, I've seen some great copy from of all places, casket businesses that have great copy. Don't ask me why. I guess people are just dying to get into their business. Couldn't resist. All right. Read other good copy, as I say, go into like National Enquirer, as I said, and then there are other great copywriters that who are legendary. Russell Brunson is a wonderful copywriter. He writes all the time, and the reason he's such a great copywriter is because he's paid for copywriters. There are other people who are out there who have great titles. Here's a funny little location you might not even guess. The Bible is a great place for copywriters. It's just the titles get your attention and curiosity. I mean, that's a long book, so it's got to encourage you. Just see some titles. Usually, the titles in some versions have a title of what's happened, so you'll be curious enough to read the rest. Just some thoughts, okay? Um, Now we're going to start building some headlines, and I'm going to show you how to grab some headline copy and how to write some of the easiest ones. You can, I bet you, as soon as I tell you this, you're going to write one in 30 seconds in your head, guarantee you, or less. Okay, the how to ones are the easiest ones you because how to offers a solution instantly. How to do this, how to benefits and results. So think about that. How to benefits and results. Okay? Think about that. Okay? Now stop thinking and keep acting. How to cook like a gourmet chef. Think about that. How to, here's a solve a problem or benefit or result. Okay? Number other, how to sell your house. Okay? Or how to sell your house in a bad economy. Something like that. How to sell your house in any neighborhood or something like that. Okay, just some ideas. How to generate more money while having a life. That is literally our copy for the Platinum Factory system. How to generate, that literally is our kind of our tagline. Not even kind of, it is our tagline. How to generate income, more money while having a life. Powerful, powerful. How to win friends and influence people. Some of you have used this book before. This book was printed like back in the 30s, and that thing is still selling like hotcakes, even though you probably will never ever see an advertisement for it. Why? Because it taps into solving a problem. Benefits and results. How to win friends and influence people. A very powerful book. If you don't have a copy, go out and find one. Okay, you can find them pretty much everywhere. You can find them at Amazon. You can find them online. Heck, the library has I don't know how many copies of it. So if you feel that, but here let me tell you something real quick, and this is kind of important. I'm gonna segue a little away from. A lot of times you want to eat, you're thinking cheap, and I say don't think cheap. People who are successful in business don't do it cheap. This is going to cost you some money to do things. So if you want to influence people, it's going to cost you something. So don't think about how to get it for free. The library is a wonderful source, but I always say buy it if you can. The library is a great place, a lending place to get started. But if you want this resource that you're going to be able to, underline and, dog eared and whatever, get the information and it becomes yours. I have my copy, get your copy. Don't be, as they say, just uh what penny dollar what was it dollar smart penny wise or something like that. Basically, don't be trying to be cheap to make millions. Okay, just a thought. Next one, start with a verb. Create a mental picture. The reason why you start with a verb is because we are emotional beings. Verbs are actions. Okay, think of actions. If you can get people to think in verbs, so start with a verb. Always, not always, but near the front, start with a verb or get an action activity because we as humans, we make irrational thoughts. We do pretty much everything in our life on emotion. Who you marry, where you go to school, who you vote for. I mean, seriously, who you vote for is pretty much always emotional. It's not rational thoughts. Okay. Why you buy your car? Do you own a BMW over a Honda? If you own a BMW, it wasn't because of a rational thought. Okay, it was because of the emotion. You love the way it makes you feel. If you buy a Rolex, a Maserati, if you live in a ginormous house, it's not because it's practical because there's only two people in your house, but you live in a 10,000 square foot home when two people live there. That's an emotional thing, okay? And you justify it for whatever reason. So go with verb, go with actions, go with emotions, okay? Get, grab, learn, enjoy. Those are great ways to start them, okay? So start thinking. I told you, you probably already got the title already. Get, grab, enjoy, and learn. All action verbs, okay? Here's a perfect one. This guy is amazing. I've many of the folks that I've worked with have trained with Tony Robbins. He charges a tremendous amount of money for what he does. He's a masterful copywriter, but even he taps into other copywriters. Now think about it. Remember what I said before? I said a verb. Look at the first word of that title. Ignite. It's an action. It's a powerful word. It's a fire word. It gets you to think, ignite, ignition, starting, fire, aircraft, rockets, whatever you think of igniting, starting a campfire, ignite is a powerful word. That's a powerful headline, okay? Because it starts with a verb. And Tony Robbins, by the way, will charge you $5,000 for his conferences. And I'm here to tell you, he's worth it. Okay, the guy knows what he's talking about. You just got to know. I mean, I'm not saying go to a Tony Robbins class right now, but eventually you're going to start intersecting with those kind of people at that level that you can go to one of his meeting and get more out of it. But it may not be right now. Okay, so just consider that. Here's another one. This is another way, another version of how to create something ways, a number of ways to benefit and result. The other one was how to. This one is a number of ways. So here's one: 3 ways to drive business to your door. Start with a number. 52 ways to fund your home business, even if you're broke, your credit sucks, and all your friends hate you. Starts with a number. People like numbers. People like systems. For some reason, we like systems, and you find that some of the most powerful and easily accessible ways for people to start reading your blog or whatever is you have a list because people like a beginning and an end. It's the 3 ways to have better sex, whatever. 10 ways to balance your checkbook. People like those kind of things. It's just kind of, you're only going to do 10. Okay, so you're there. So it's a great way to use for your titles. 10 ways to travel like a boss and other things. Here's another one. Number 3, how anyone can. These are very non-specific. These are very one specific. They don't know you. You're not awesome. They don't know you're awesome yet. These are for if you're doing cold market advertising. So they don't know you yet. You haven't really connected with them, but you need to get them to think about the problem. So that's why you use the how anyone benefits and results. Okay, great places for if you're doing something on Facebook and you're just doing Facebook advertising to people or Google advertising to people who don't know you yet. Okay, so good example: how anyone can make money from home. It doesn't say how marketers can use. It doesn't say how home builders. It doesn't. It says how anyone. It's designed for anyone. How anyone can travel wholesale. How anyone can lose weight. Again, it's great for cold market. And consider in headlines that really like in business anything. You have cold, you have warm, and you have hot. Hot generally means people who know you, people who trust you, and people who will buy from you, even if you said buy sand in the desert. Okay. The next one is a topic secret you're not supposed to know. Things like the travel secrets you're not supposed to know. The home business secrets you're not supposed to know. The wealth secrets you're not supposed to know. So just look at those things. Secret people like secrets because it's things that I don't know. It's a secret. There's clandestine services. People always want to know. Again, back to the curiosity. Going back to that curiosity thing, secrets. If you have the word secrets in there somewhere, the topic secrets you're not supposed to know, great headlines. Get people curious, okay? Here's a secondary one. It's kind of similar to the last one, is that um, this is a perceived enemy. The perceived enemy means that there's someone out there pushing back. For us, we have to have an adversary. It's kind of like the Force and the dark side if you're a Star Wars fan. There's something that has to push. You always have to have an adversary. Your adversary could be anything. But if you identify the adversary and you bring it into your title, then people who are already facing that adversary will start to click towards you. Here's a couple examples. This is a prove, as I said, this is a very proven because people like enemies. Star Wars is literally built on the force, the power of the force of good and the dark side. I mean, the force of good would be pretty much useless without the dark side. I'm sorry, it is what it is. Okay, as I said earlier, or I didn't say earlier, but it's like an unseen big brother or sister. It's an enemy. It gets, as I said, Russell Brunson earlier. It gets to what's called a reluctant hero. You are the Luke Skywalker. Okay, you are the Bruce Willis, if you will. You are the Wonder Woman against an enemy. Okay, you are that reluctant. You don't really want to do it, but you got to do it because you are the one to do that. So, here's some examples. What MLM big shots don't want you to know about locating qualified leads. I've actually used that one before. It actually works. You can use it too. What banks don't want you to know about low interest loans. Okay. What companies like Expedia and Priceline don't want you to know about travel. And here's a good question. In order to avoid really attacking directly, use phrases like a word like, because words like does not attack them directly. It actually talks about companies like them indirectly. So you can get people to think about Expedia and Priceline, but you don't get Priceline or Expedia sending a lawsuit your way. So, what companies like Amazon and Barnes and Noble don't want you to know about inexpensive books. Okay. Stuff like that. You're really talking about them, but you're saying companies like them. You're not saying them. So it's a wonderful, masterful way to say Expedia, Priceline, they're the perceived enemy for selling your coastal product or something like that. Okay. Another one, how to get payoff without pain. We love that. We love to get it without pain. How to get 5-star vacation spot without breaking the bank. I've used that one myself before. How to get qualified business prospects without bugging your friends. Again, notice the payoff. The payoff is get qualified business prospects. The pain is bugging your friends. That's another one. That gets people's attention all the time because sometimes you see bugging your friends is you're kind of messing up your relationship. But if you can be able to build a business without bugging them and they're anxious to jump into your opportunity or your business or even just refer stuff to you, then you're not bugging them. You're actually you're a savior, if you will. How to get the best business referral without begging. That's a really good one. All right. It's been a pleasure, and I know I talk really, really fast for you attending today. Keep in mind, here at the Platinum Factory Systems, we help you to build a business. We show you how to build a business while having a life. And I know you might have some questions. I would encourage you to, if you see this, and I'm not sure where we're going to post it, but if you see this, on our Facebook or you see it in our back office, make sure you get to, send a support ticket or send a question up and I'll be happy to address him or one of the other leaders in the Platinum Factory System. And I am Nike, again, with the Platinum Factory System, and thank you for attending our training today.